Chiefs are gonna rock this house. You're running with the big boy sound. The Chiefs are gonna strike you down. That's how we roll. That's how we roll.
Brian Baldinger and Ron Jaworski sit down with Coach Steve Spagnuolo.
All zone coverage work better with a pass rush, John. Just in case you guys didn't know that.
The mastermind behind the Giants' 2007 Super Bowl winning defense.
AP changes it. Brady changes the protection, okay? And we got to be ready to change the blitz.
Coach Spagnuolo has them down in right now.
Listen, man, we're 7 strong now.
Backed with over 30 years of coaching experience, Coach Spags talks about pass defense.
And we preach route reading and tell the defenders, get your eyes on the routes first and get to the quarterback late.
Then breaks down how to properly play 3 types of zone coverage.
Attack mode, man, attack mode. Attack mode. The flat area is out near the sideline, but it's anywhere from the line of scrimmage all the way up to 15 yards deep.
Baldy, time for another Game Pass film session. We're going to drill down on the defensive side, and we're very fortunate to have with us Steve Spagnuolo, Super Bowl champion, head coach of the Rams.
Let's go, 9-6. Let's go. All right, George. Come on. Come on, Coach. Come on, big man.
One of the brightest minds on the defensive side of the football in the National Football League. Hey, I'm just a nice guy, you know.
You're being too kind.
And beside that, coaching over in Barcelona, you're over in the NFL Europe. We are very, very thankful to have you joining us. And now you're going to teach us a little defense today, aren't you?
Before we do that, do you know who was breaking into broadcasting when I was in Barcelona and Frankfurt? This guy to my left right here, right? But I tell you what, you're talking about a fun league now.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad that it's not in existence now, but fun defense.
You know, Steve, there's just so much. There's a lot of information out there. Sometimes it's not always accurate.
Yep.
But, I just think people want to know when a quarterback throws a touchdown pass, who got beat?
Why wasn't that covered?
What we want to try to get into a little bit today is the responsibilities within these zones.
Particular coverage.
Responsibility, like how you teach it, install it, the different areas of the zone.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get inside some of that.
When you whittle it down to basics, there's really 2 types of coverage.
Okay.
Zone and man.
All right.
Simple, right?
Yeah.
Pop one a football.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break it down from there. We'll get to the man later. But if we're talking zone coverage, there's 2 types of zone coverage.
Okay.
You can spot drop into a zone, look at the quarterback, and play your zone and react. Or, and what's more in this league nowadays, because it's getting so intricate, is zone coverage by pattern reading.
Yeah.
Reading routes, 2s out, 1s in, and there's a lot more of those zone concepts in NFL football today. So here's what I want to do. All pattern reading. Aaron, you're going to see where 3 goes.
You know, if we're in one of your defensive meeting rooms here, Steve, let's just start with the basics of coverage.
The only way I'm going to do it properly, Baldy, is if I go up there, because you know I'm a visual guy. So I'm going to have to draw something, or else it's not going to work out right.
We have a board.
Let's do that.
All right.
All right, so listen, let's do this coverage-wise. So just simple math now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do some simple math. All right, so there's the football field. It's 53 1/3 yards wide, right? And we know it's 100 yards long. If we could take 9 coverage guys and put them back there in coverage, we could take away the deep quarters of the field. That would only be, Baldy, you did the math, right?
Yeah, 13
Yeah, about
yards.
13 yards of field. You can stand in the middle of 13 yards, and if the ball has got to travel 30 yards downfield, Jaws, we can cover that, right?
Yep.
That would take care of all the deep throws. If you could take 5 guys and put them in these underneath 1/5 area that we call 2 flats and 2 curls and 2, we'd be okay. The problem is, we only have 2 guys to rush.
I like that as a quarterback.
You'd have no problem with
I
that.
like that part.
Okay, so what happens? Let's say we want to rush 3 people. We got to take 1 guy out of here. All right, now this deep area has to get split into thirds. All right, it becomes a little more challenging for you back here, Baldy, right? No line, we can do the math. We don't need to now, but instead of covering 13 yards of field, it's 1/3 of the 53 1/3.
Yeah.
But we only have 3 guys rushing.
Right.
Most teams, right? Most zone coverages have four men to rest. So now we've got to cover somehow with 7 guys. And conceptually, there's really 2 of them. You can play 3 deep, 4 under zone.
Yep.
Or we play 2 deep, 5 under. All right, what are the reasons for the 2 different ones? I mean, you could stick at one and try to master it, but it's not too long before you figure out that underneath, if you've got to cover 5 zones and you only have 4 bodies to do it, it gets a little bit tougher. Jay, play it, play it, play it, play it. So what typically happens in a game is defensive coaches change up if they're going to stay in zone between 2 deep and 3 deep. You got teams at 2nd and 5, and it's going to be a short throw. Maybe you live in this world a little bit because you got 5 underneath people, right? If we want to take care of them throwing things deep, we don't want a deep ball in the middle post. We get into 3 deep and stick somebody here. Every coverage has a weakness. Every coverage has a strength. When we talk to our defensive players about how you see that formation, we talk first about that's a 2-by-2 formation. 2 receivers here, 2 on that side, or a 3-by-1. If I put trips on one side, 1, 2, 3 receivers, and then 1 that side, that'd be a 3-by-1. If we want to talk to these zone defenders on this side about how we're going to pattern match or defend any route concepts to that side, we're going to number receivers from outside in. I would say that's number 1 strong, that's number 2 strong, that's number 3 strong. If I get on the weak side, number 1 weak, number 2 weak. Now here's where it gets tricky. I'll say to the players, he's number 1 strong by alignment. In other words, when they come out and get lined up, you know, if that's Odell Beckham, he's number 1 by alignment. The tight end is number 2 by alignment. Yeah. So when we start talking about route concepts and pattern reading, I'm going to say that somebody reads 2 to 1. If 2 now goes and becomes 1, he now has to defend the new number 2. So that's the language.
Coach, you know, the minute you get your team together, you were telling us one of the first coverages you install is cover 3. So obviously you like that coverage. What are the benefits of it, and what are the challenges of cover 3?
Yeah, good question. I mean, you're going to see what we call mixed downs, 1st and 2nd down, run or pass, right? And mixed downs is, I think, where you're going to find more of your cover 3 for a lot of reasons. A, it's probably one of your better run defenses. You'll get another guy out of the secondary that can help it. You got to know the strength of your defense that you're coaching. And if you're strong on the outside as in the corner department, and you can put a little bit more pressure on them because they can cover those wideouts and take them out of the game, I think cover 3 is a good coverage. Where are the weaknesses in that, okay? The weaknesses to me are out here in the flat, okay, because you're going to have a curl. We'll talk in terms of somebody playing the curl flat or playing the hook curl. And all that means is that if I'm a defender and I have the hook curl, I've got to work through the hook and then out to the curl based on the routes. If I'm a curl flat defender, I work through the curl and then to the flat. Well, if I'm telling these 2 guys to work through the curl and then get to the flat, that must mean that flat's open early, right? So to me, the weakness in cover 3 is out here.
The speed outs. You want to be a good cover 3 team, you need good corners.
I think so.
It goes without saying.
Look, if you play off all the time, and these people are getting 5 out all of the time, it's going to be really hard for those 4 guys to cover those 5 zones. They just kind of trickle on down the field. So your corners at some point have got to be up there and make plays for you. Tell these quarterbacks now exactly what they're getting. And they know exactly what they're getting.
What route they'll
make it easy on them, right? Make it easy on them.
3. First play is 3.
First play is pay your receivers.
Second play, hold on, Second play is 3.
I mean, I'm lining up things and showing the quarterback that it's cover 3. What we've always liked to do is not show you. And then the 3 deep is either going this way or maybe he's coming down and it's... But to me, in today's day and age football, I think you really need to do that to quarterbacks.
I think it's cover 3. I'm not really sure. Maybe
It's hard to tell. Yeah, they're not shifted over per man, so...
We just had a nice chalk talk session on the grease board there.
No chalk anymore.
No chalk.
Right? I used to have to wash off all the chalk on my hands. And now it's... Yeah.
But let's go to the real film session with your Giants here. When we look at this coverage right here, it looks like a cover 2 shell.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. I mean, you don't want the quarterback to know pre-snap. You'd like him not to know what he's going to see. If we line up in that 3 deep, 4 under we talked about, he knows where the weaknesses are, and he's going to get the ball there. Yeah, it ends up a weak side rotated 3 deep. You can see Landon down here,
right
21.
Here. Yep.
He's going to end up becoming our hook curl player.
Right here.
DRC, who's up in the line, he's going to be our curl flat player.
Flat, right here.
Right? Up top, you have a linebacker and a nickel that are going to be playing hook curl and curl flat.
Yep.
And your 3D players are going to be each corner.
Yep.
And there's your free safety who's going to go to the middle of the field.
Yep.
So let's see if we did this well or not.
Eagles have a 3rd and 11. Falls back. Zips one right, incomplete.
That's what it should look like. This is well done all the way around, really.
Okay. All right, Spags, we just kind of went through a pretty good overview of cover 3.
Yeah.
But we know there's more than cover 3. We thought maybe we'd get to, some 2 deep coverage, quarter coverage, what it is, and why you use it, when you use it.
Hey, remember the 4 verticals, right? Remember the 4 verticals down in this area, right, Kenny? 4 verts.
Once they start going vertical in those cover 3, the going to quarters can one way to take away the deep vertical.
That would be an immediate thing to go to if you were leery of deep shots, 4 verticals. I mean, quarters, I think, helps you. But now, in theory, if you put 4 guys back deep, put them in deep zones, you are now defending the run with, quote-unquote, 7 defenders.
Yeah.
So I think you strengthen yourself on deeper passes, but you weaken yourself a little bit in the run game and a little bit in the underneath routes. We talked earlier about 3D, and one of the ways to attack 3D is to go 4 vertical, 2 by 2, and you're stretching these 3 deep defenders in 4 areas. To take that away, you shift coverages a little bit, and now we've got 4 guys deep. These 2 guys are protecting the hashes, and these 2 guys are protecting the numbers. But we weaken somewhere.
Right.
So no longer do we have 4 underneath defenders, we only have 3. So the stress goes on what I call the 2 quarters flat defenders.
Okay.
And the Mike linebacker. Let's talk about different types of quarter coverage, okay? There's real aggressive flat foot quarter coverage, and there's a softer cover 4 where you're taking away the deep routes. All right. Make sure you stay close enough inside that he can't hit that seam, right? The other thing that's interesting about quarters, conceptually, you have to make a decision in quarters coverage. You want to play your corners outside or inside.
Yeah.
You play them outside, it'll help you on those deep out routes.
Right.
But some teams will play it inside and say that we're better at corner than you are at wide out, and it helps all of the inside. If they want to throw an out route all day, our corners are good enough to drive on it.
Here's a question I have, Steve. So we have 3 underneath. They've got to be more clued into the pattern read.
Routes.
To the routes.
Yeah.
But here's a young player, Miles Jack, and I'm not picking on him here. I'm just saying, how do you learn
Makes a
to
mistake
know
there,
what's
doesn't he?
well?
See, Baldy's not even a defensive coach, Jaws, and he already found the mistake there. No, but it's good football. But you found the mistake.
Okay, so here's the mistake, and it's a big play. It's 3rd and 18 right here. But the question I'd have, and what you would tell this young player, how do you learn to know what's going on behind you?
Yeah. So if you go back to the beginning, we're back to our numbers, right? If you can count to 3, you can play football. 1, 2, 3, right? He's got to read 3 to 2. As long as number 3, when the routes develop, as long as he stays as number 3, then he should be over the top of or underneath the final 3. When he becomes number 2, his eyes and body should go now to the guy that's going to become 3. This Mike linebacker needs to be on the final three.
Wow, final three. I got you.
And what he did was he does what a lot of young guys do. They stare at the quarterback.
Yeah.
And they don't realize what's going on behind them. But what he should be doing is opening up and finding the new number three. And then I think you got a better down.
Yeah.
Coach, we've broken down cover 3, cover 4. Now I see one of the more predominant coverages, cover 2. From a quarterback perspective, I think it's one of the toughest coverages because you can play the 5 underneath. You can play zone. You can play man. And when would you use cover 2? And what are the benefits and challenges of cover 2?
These teams that have these quick timing pass games, where the routes are underneath, and there's interchange of concepts, getting 5 guys underneath to take that away just by math helps you out a little bit. Yeah. You go to 2 deep now, you've weakened yourself a little bit in the run game.
Yeah.
You put a little bit more pressure on 2 half defenders, and not 3 guys back there. Now there's just 2 of them, but you certainly have shored up all the underneath quick throws, pick routes, and that's what it's really good for. All right, so we're talking about 2 deep, 5 under, right? Simple math. There's your 2 deep defenders, right? Theoretically, your 2 corners are in the flat. Your Mike linebackers in the middle hook, and there's your 2 curl defenders. In theory, it should take away a little bit more of the short passing game. Now, you weaken yourself in the deep routes, but it should be a little bit better underneath. Strong side, right? Keep that too high look. Listen, there's a lot of versions of cover 2. With little intricacies and changes. There are firmer cover 2s. The corners stay in the flat no matter what. There's what I call floated cover 2s, where the corners could get pulled out of the flat based on particular routes that they get.
Do you like to redirect?
Yeah, all of them would believe in redirecting.
Okay.
Corners theoretically want to force their number 1 receiver inside because you got only 2 deep defenders now, each covering a half of the field. So you want to shrink that part of it. And listen, the coverage never works very good if you don't do that. Now, one of the main things about cover 2 I think that gets lost with people is that when we put the 2 corners in the flat, the flat area is out near the sideline, right? It's the numbers to sideline as we drew it up earlier, but it's anywhere from the line of scrimmage all the way up to 15 yards deep. So if this corner has to take care of that area, he needs to get a little bit of depth to take care of that 15, 18-yard area. Sometimes we think that he's supposed to just sit there at 5.
Right.
That's not the case. The flat area is from the line of scrimmage to 15-yard deep because we've only got 2 guys back there deep. Let's see what 24 ends up doing. He probably needs to get a little bit more depth. In cover 2, the corner's technique in play is vital. 24 was almost in really good shape here. What got him in trouble was ever so slightly he bit on the flat route.
Right here.
Yeah. And that's going to get you in trouble. Definitely a no-cover zone, and he shouldn't jump a route underneath 5 when you got the threat of an 18, 20-yard.
And it's third and 11. It's third and 11. That's sort of
situation. In any of these zone covers, if you can freeze it there, Ball, we always talk about a no-cover zone. And 3rd and 9, all right, that 5-yard area underneath there, from the line of scrimmage to 5 yards downfield is what we call no-cover zone. In other words, quarterback, if you want to throw it, go ahead. Because we're good enough to stick our foot in the ground, go rally, and get this. Good discipline by Buffalo's underneath coverage not to jump a route, because the minute he jumps that route, the route behind him is going to be wide open, and then he got a first down. I thought it was a really good job of situational football, 3rd and 9, knowing what they could give up, and then making the tackle there off the field.
Let me just go one step further here, just on the tackle here. When he comes up, he goes for that outside leg full speed.
You know what we call that? He's an arrow through snow.
Arrow through snow.
Visualize an arrow through snow.
Okay.
In other words, don't stop and break down here.
Right. Go.
Keep him on your inside pad. which that corner did.
Yeah.
Be a good leverage on the football, keep it on my inside pad if I'm an outside defender, and be an arrows to snow. I'm a firm believer in that. I want to pay homage to a great defensive football coach, Jim Johnson, and I know you guys both got to know
Very
him. But
well.
Jim used to preach that all the time. Don't break down and tackle. When we played Pop Warner football, all of us, right? And when the coaches said break down, what do we do? Break down.
Break down.
Now, you can't tackle anybody like that. Right? You got to keep your feet underneath you. We now talk in terms of shorten your stride and sink your tail.
Okay.
And that's what this football player is doing right here and doing a really good job.
Good job.
Yeah.
Baldy,
The game's fast.
I'm taking copious notes here. So
There you
just
go.
here,
But
where
now
I
we
got
got
it.
arrows to
Snow, man.
It's days like this that you're in this business, right? Do two things for me today. Play cool in the head and hot in the heart. Cool in the head, hot in the heart. Don't let him to get a field goal now. I got a good mind to pressure this thing, guys. It's easy to sit here and say, well, why didn't we do that? But pass games, as intricate as they are, all the pick routes that we get, jamming receivers and disrupting timing, to me, is the number one thing I think we should always look to do.
That's why we love the clicker. We're always right.
Always go back and forth, right? Got time to see it over and over.
That's right.
You got the regular picture? Where's my picture guy?